And I mean, Coach talks about how, he's telling NFL scouts, hey, don't forget about Keegan Render. He's actually better than people might think.
Just learn from, like I said, learn from Brian and Coach Ferentz. Obviously, Brian played the position, so just kind of learn from them every day. Every day is a new learning experience for me. Different position, different play call, there's different looks that happen. So just kind of take every day as a learning experience and realizing that there's always something that's going to be a little different that I might not know and have to figure out on the fly.
The last 3 centers at Iowa have all played in the NFL. Have you thought about that, both the opportunity and the challenge, the expectations?
Yeah, obviously there's high expectations, but I'm just trying to focus on this year and lead our group as best we can, have a good season, and make sure we're all gelling together and make sure we're all on the same page.
The other side of it, time flies. I remember seeing you playing in high school. Flash forward, 5th year senior starting at center, and you get about to play your final year as a Hawkeye. Have you thought about how that's going to feel going out there, knowing this is your last time around?
Yeah, it's a little different. Obviously, we got our team picture later, and it's weird being in the front row now. So I remember when I was way in the back. So it's been different. It's gone by really fast, but just try to take advantage of all the opportunities we have as a team, and all the time I have with the rest of the linemen here. I think is the biggest thing for me, and just make sure it's something that we can remember.
Obviously, it was a process to work your way into playing time, then into starting and out being starting center your 5th year. And Coach Ferentz a little while ago talked about how much he thinks of you. Is that kind of put in perspective just how hard you've had to work to get to this point?
Yeah, but like I said, Iowa especially is a developmental program, so I think everybody goes through that on the offensive line. Obviously, you have some specimens like Tristan and that, but it's just daily grinding that not only am I doing, but everybody else is doing on the team. So I think it just kind of helps along the way, and obviously when Coach Ferentz does good things, that's good. But everybody's been working hard, and it's not just me; it's all the whole line in general. And I think we're going somewhere this year. So.
With played mostly guard last year, what are the challenges playing center compared to the guard position?
Obviously, snapping the ball is a big difference. Reaching a guy with one hand between your legs is not the easiest thing, but I think just the vocal leadership and making sure you make the right calls and make sure everybody's on the same page really relies on the center in our offense. So that's one big adjustment, making sure everybody is on the same page, whether it's snap count or where we're going on a certain play, or if something's a little different with the look. I think was the biggest adjustment that was made.
You're the veteran, you're the leader. What have you done leadership-wise since these suspensions got announced to, I don't know, maybe keep the room together or just address it, I guess, as the veteran guy?
Well, obviously just acknowledge it. I mean, we don't want to brush under the rug. Obviously Tristan and AJ got in a little trouble, and they own up to it. They've been good teammates all camp. They're not trying to say, oh, it's woe me, I got caught or anything, but they've been good teammates, and then going along with that, just make sure everybody knows the role. Obviously a couple years ago I was in the same spot where there was an injury and I had to step in, and that's basically how I was brought into it. Was Cole and guys like that brought me into it and made sure you're like, hey, you're going to be okay, we're going to be okay, we're just going to keep going. The best 5 is going to play, and that on Saturday, the first Saturday, the best 5 is going to be without Tristan and AJ, and that's just something that you have to realize, and realize that, hey, the game's going to still be played on that Saturday the 1st.
How much do you think that could galvanize not only your room but the entire team, with a few guys missing? Just kind of the outside perception is you guys don't have the guys you would have had, maybe you won't perform as well. Do you think that can galvanize the entire team for this opener?
I mean, it could, if we let it happen. I think as the next couple weeks go on, we'll find out a lot about our team and how we're going to adjust. And I think we've handled it good so far. Like I said, Tristan and AJ have been good about it. They've been helping young guys, and just letting know that the expectation is still the same, regardless of who we have in. So we still want to run the ball well, we still want to protect well, regardless of who's at tackle or who's at center or anywhere. So I think as long as young guys know that, and they're going to be fine stepping in. Obviously, it's the first game, but it's going to happen sometime.
Moving around from school to school and having the experience that he has had really gives him a lot of credibility in that receiver room and receiver corps to kind of lead everybody and show them the way. And he came in last year and had a great work ethic and just kind of put his nose to the ground and went at it full speed. And I think that's really what made him stand out and what allowed for his success last year.
Okay, awesome, thank you.
Is there anything specifically this offseason that you really tried to nail down coming into this year?
Yeah, really just continue to try to build knowledge of the offense, and then also to Coach O'Keefe had some things with footwork and ball placement that he wanted, not just myself, but all the quarterbacks to work on. And, those are the things that we tried to focus on.
Give you some comfortability having so many guys back as targets with the tight ends and the wide receivers that actually played last year?
Yeah, it's definitely helpful when you can build that rapport with somebody, especially over a 2-year time frame. They did a great job running routes this offseason and so far during camp, and they've done a great job at showing the younger guys what's expected of us when we do go out and run routes or when we practice. So yeah, really just looking forward to the rest of camp and that first game.
Where have you seen? Go ahead.
Have you gotten some freedom, a little more freedom now in this offense to do some things now that you've got a year and got some experience?
I think there's always freedom to do stuff, but just building that knowledge of the offense allows for you to open up and expand more and use a lot more of the playbook.
Mm-hmm. About Lemire a little bit. Obviously made some big plays last year. What have you seen from him as far as a consistency? Have you seen more consistency out of him?
Yeah, that's one of the things that he wanted to work on this offseason, and he did it. He did a great job, in the offseason, catching balls on the jugs machines, getting extra routes, from the quarterbacks, and yeah, so far he's done a great job at that.
How much fun is it to have, is kind of a dumb question, to have no guy that can stretch the defense as a tight end like that?
Yeah, it allows us to do a bunch of different stuff, and allows for other people to get open as well. So I think it's awesome when you have a guy that can do multiple things in the offense, especially with the skill set that he has. He allows us to do a lot of different stuff and opens up a lot more for us to do.
He takes pride in it.
He's a good hype train stopper. That's for sure. He's a really get to work guy. Like, we're gonna get to work. We're not gonna pay attention to all that stuff. And that's how it should be though. Like that's the mentality that we need to take towards this season. Not getting caught up in what's said and the media or anything like that. Focusing on what we can control, and that's on the football field. So.
How aware were you when you came here of Iowa's tight end tradition, and how you feel you're fitting into that role? That's produced a lot of
I would coming in, during recruitment, I didn't really know that well. Coming in as a freshman, I started watching past film, and then my freshman year I was playing with George Kittle also, and just kind of looking back in history and seeing there's so many different tight ends that we've had that have been good tight ends and have been used a lot. And that was definitely something that meant a lot to me, and I knew that I needed, to hopefully be that in one day, and that's always the goal. So,
what do you think sparks the connection between Nate Stanley and you and Hawkinson, the tight ends? I mean, all of a sudden they were highly featured in the passing game last year. Are you guys just that good that he has to find you all the time on the field because you guys are making plays?
No, honestly, I attribute that to him. He does a great job of reading defenses. He does a great job of fitting balls in where normally people can't fit them into. And with that, you get guys that get involved more. You get guys that may not have caught a ball in a certain situation where they catch it in another one. So I definitely attribute that to him and obviously play calling. That's something that we wouldn't be catching any balls if we didn't have good play calling. So. With all that, and then on top of Nate, making those great reads and stuff like that, something that is pretty special. So.
What do you like playing with TJ? What do you enjoy the most, being on the field with him at the same time?
Honestly, what I like playing with him the most, we're pretty good friends. We joke around with each other and everything like that. It's fun to play with him. We get to communicate with each other and things like that. As far as physically on the football field, he's a great guy to we're constantly in communication about what we see and things like that. Obviously he's a great blocker, great pass catcher. He does everything. So with that, we pull a lot of tension off of each other and help out the other one. So it's cool how that kind of is like a yin yang kind of thing. So
he gives Kittle credit for teaching him how to block. What kind of convinced you how important that was in this offense to be able to block?
That's a big part of our offense. I 100% feel that if you can't block as a tight end, then you're gonna get limited playing time because they have to use you to block. So that's definitely something our coaches take a lot of pride in, and kind of what I was talking about before with correcting technique and stuff like that. that's definitely something that we take a lot of pride in, especially from our coaching staff. So,
would you rather throw a block that picks up a first down in the running game, or would you rather catch a pass that picks up a first down in the passing?
They're both equal for me. They're like, that's just as good as, you know, if I make a big block and our running back goes squirting up the field for 50 yards, or if I catch a pass for 50 yards, it's the same thing, you know, because we're just as close to the end zone. So.
Not a lot bigger, but bigger than last year.
Yeah, I'm probably weighing in around 278 right now, and I came in around 260, 262. Okay. And so I mean, I think that's a considerable amount of weight put on, especially to play in the Big Ten. And Coach Doyle is obviously the best in the business, and so I just kind of buy into his system and try to get better every day in the weight room.
What have you found? What is the most important thing? Is it getting leverage? Is it first step? What's the most important thing to being successful at your position?
Well, the guys talk about it all the time, and the coaches always harp on it, and it's getting your hands inside and getting your hands on that the power circle is what we call it. And so when you get your hands inside, you're able to work your leverage. And if you, I mean, it all starts with hands. And if your hands aren't inside, then I mean, it won't go the way you want it. And I mean, you might get lucky, but most of the time it doesn't work out that way. So you get your hands inside, and that'll help you do anything you want to do.
Mm-hmm. How would you assess your rookie year? How do you feel like you did?
Huh? Sorry.
How would you assess your rookie year?
I think. I think I met my expectations as well as getting in the games, because I wasn't really expecting myself to play as much as I did, but I think the coaches saw my ability and how hard I've been working, and they thought I was good enough to be able to play. And I think that overall I did pretty decent, but I know that there's a lot of things I have to get better with. A lot of things I have to work on. I mean, the list could go on and on about things I have to improve. The tiny things, the small details, like I said earlier, I mean, those are the most important things. And I'm trying to perfect those and just get better at those things every day.
So you surprised yourself a little bit last week?
I think maybe a little bit, but I mean, without the older guys, and I mean, I can't put enough emphasis on how much help they've been to me, but without those guys, I don't think that I would have played nearly as much. I mean, the coaches help you, but they're also coaching other people, and having the older guys who have been here for 4 years, going on to their 5th, or they've been there the whole time, give you their knowledge from their 5 years of experience. And that's about as good as coach can get sometimes, because they're living it at that moment with you.
Linebackers and the defensive line.
It's huge. You know, the D line, it all starts up front, getting the push, and then linebackers filling the holes, doing their pass responsibilities. Like I said, everybody's got to do their job, and if the D line's getting a push up front, linebackers are filling the run fast. It makes our job in the back end a lot easier. So everybody's doing their job, and playing fast, playing hard. It makes it a lot of fun to be a part of this defense.
And finally, it's been a pleasure talking with you the last 4 years. What do you hope for this senior year?
Just do everything I can to help the team win games. That's the primary goal. It starts with NIU week 1, and then we'll see what happens from there.
Best of luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yep, you too.
Hey, Jake, how's it going? I'm with 6 in Davenport. So, obviously, Assumption grad, everyone's cheering you on back at home. In your final year, what is it that you really want to leave on the field behind? What's sort of your legacy?
I just want to do everything I can to help my team win games. So, I'm just 1/11th when I'm on the field as being part of the defense. So, during game week, leading up to the game, just doing my best to, lead the defensive backs, try to be a vocal leader, do everything right, and then hopefully we play well on Saturdays.
So this year, you came on first.
What has Groneweg added to the group?
He's also one of our leaders. We have senior leaders and pretty much does the same things. He keeps us on track.
I'm told he's faster than we probably think he is.
Groneweg?
Yeah.
He's really fast.
Yeah. Faster than you? Be honest.
I don't know. We don't know yet. We never just lined up a race.
Yeah. How about Smith Marset? He's obviously a pretty big personality. What do you like about him in that room?
Well, we were roommates at first.
Were you?
Yeah. He's a pretty cool guy. That's my first time I really got close with him.
Really?
We called ourselves the Smith Brothers.
Did you really?
Yeah.
What do you like about him?
He's funny. He's always in a good mood. I never seen him in a bad mood. He just brightens up.
Yeah. What about as a player? What are we going to see from him this year? You think we didn't see last year?
I mean, as a player, he's a great player. He's got hands. His speed is phenomenal. He's just great dude.
How have you gotten a better connection with Nate Stanley over the last year? How have you guys worked on that?
Just during practice, just getting a lot of reps with Nate. Just try to build a chemistry and get timing down. Everything's going to be good.
And you feel it's better, obviously, than it was a year ago, I assume. Chemistry?
Oh, yeah.
In high school, it was, 5,000 people at Bettendorf. Yeah, that's just a whole nother level. You know, I'm going against a lot older guys. So yeah, I think there's a lot of more growing up, you know, just taking my playbook back, studying all of that where I didn't do much of my freshman year. I'm doing a lot more right now, just even with camp, the first 6 days of it. So just definitely a lot more growing up. That's going to have to come along more quicker. Yep.
Thanks.
Yep.
Is the situation you're in, however it shakes out, is it nice, even though it happened late, the suspensions, the fact that there's 3-4 weeks, that that your role's probably going to be different in some shape or form that first week rather than, say a game week that something happens. I mean, is it to the point now where you know what's going to be coming week one and can kind of mentally get yourself ready for that?
I mean, it came really quick. I still don't think I've really wrapped my head around it. I think, I just really need to kind of just settle down. A lot has happened. And it's been really crazy. I know practices have been a lot tougher just because I am filling in a bigger role at times. I am going with the ones going against, Parker, Hesse, Anthony Nelson, those guys, which they're really, really good defensive ends, and but yeah, it just came up really quick. I don't think I've really had the time to wrap my head around it, and but I'll get there. I think I'll definitely be ready. This camp is definitely we're underway right now. We have a lot more camp left. I think this is going to be good for me. Just talking with the coaches, studying playbook more, getting to know the offense a lot more than I do right now, even. So I think I just got to use this as an advantage to motivate me so that I can be ready for that game one.
How did you stick with him?
I was just the best fit for me.
Yeah.
I still feel like it's the best fit for me. The best decision I've made in my life so far. The coaching staff is great. The people, Iowa City, it's all good vibes.
It sounds like I think the secondary is the most competitive squad in the team. Is that, you agree with that? Because you guys brought in a bunch of really good freshmen. You had a bunch of really good players here.